Have you ever had the perfect week? You meal prepped everything, you tracked every bite, and then suddenly you're knee deep in the desserts, wondering how you went from discipline to disaster in 30 seconds. That was me for years, and the most frustrating part is I actually studied this stuff. There was something underneath all the binges, something else I was missing. And once I found it, everything else changed. So today I'm breaking down why eating clean is going to always make you binge and how you can finally fix it. I used to think that I had to be perfect, no slip-ups, no sugar, clean meals. But there's a big problem with that. When perfection becomes the goal, anything less feels like failure. One cookie becomes, oh well, I messed up. Let me carry on and start over on Monday. And that mindset, it's exhausting. You're either under the wagon or on top of it. What fixed it wasn't becoming more disciplined. It was learning that flexibility is discipline in itself. You see, discipline isn't saying no to the cookie. It's knowing when to say yes without spiraling. Flexibility isn't a weakness. It's a strategy. Easy to follow a plan when your life is perfect, but consistency thrives through chaos. I intentionally build in small indulgences. I stop when I'm satisfied, not when I'm stuffed. At least sometimes. You see, it's not about being perfect, but it's knowing that it's okay for me to have the cookie. And then after the cookie, I can still stay on track. And ironically, I binge way less. There is a deeper reason why we cling onto perfection, which I will come back to in a second. But first, let's talk about the emotional side of binging. And spoiler alert, it's not about the food. It's about the stories that we tell ourselves when we fall short. I thought the answer was always about eating less, so I cut the calories. I skipped the breakfast and I tried to turn on the willpower. But here's what happens. Restriction builds pressure. Every binge I had wasn't about food. It was about release. And once I started fueling properly, everything else shifted. Fueling properly didn't mean stuffing my face. It meant giving my body what it needed. Meals with real volume, meals with enough protein, carbohydrates that gave me energy. No restriction, no punishment, just nourishment. And when I gave my body all of the right things, my body stopped screaming for all of the wrong things. Most of my cravings weren't cravings at all. They were my body screaming for me to stop starving. This isn't about weakness or willpower. It's about unmet needs of your body. Ever notice how binges don't just happen when life is easy? For me personally, it was always after like a long draining week, or something hectic happened at work, or something in a relationship went south. And then I would eat one thing, and then all of a sudden the floodgates would just open. Binging isn't just physical, it's also emotional. And fast food, well, your brain wants relief. And fast food is quick and easy. So here's what you need to do. You need to actually start building recovery into your week. Walks without your phone. Walks with music. Early nights going to bed. And you need to start checking in with yourself. How do you feel? Are you hungry, or are you just running on fumes? That question over there is going to change so much for you if you just check in. I remember there being a time where I used to eat my food only once I'd burnt off the prior meal. Now that mindset sounds harmless until you realize that you're actually punishing yourself with hunger. You're human, you're allowed to eat, you don't need to suffer first. Once you let go of the you need to earn it mindset, then the what the hell moments will stop happening so often. Because you're not going to be swinging between guilt and rebellion. You're going to be eating, living, nourishing. Biggest change for me didn't come from food at all. Something else flipped the switch, and I'll explain what it was right after this next part. I replaced shame with curiosity. Old me would have been, I binged again. I ruined everything. But the new me was like, I binged. Why? What's up with me? Why am I binging? What am I doing wrong? Making me binge. Am I tired? Did I not sleep well last night? Am I stressed at work? Am I overstimulated? And that one shift is going to change your failure into what we call feedback. And what's crazy is the less I started judging myself, the faster I learned more about myself. And eventually I just stopped binging because I wasn't afraid to look at it. Shame hides patterns. Curiosity reveals them. And that shame was why I hung on to perfection in the first place. Because if I could just be perfect, I wouldn't be so flawed. But that's the trap. Perfectionism isn't about high standards. It's about avoiding shame. That's the real breakthrough. I thought I had a discipline problem, but what I actually had was a shame problem. And once I stopped punishing myself for slipping up and actually asking, Louis, why did you slip up? The binges lose their power over you. That shift wasn't about controlling food. It was about understanding myself. And that also explains why fueling properly helped so much. Because when I stopped blaming myself and listened to what my body actually needed, I stopped trying to out-discipline my biology. The clean weeks still happen, but they don't spiral into chaos anymore. I stopped trying to earn food. I stopped restricting to feel like I'm in control. If you're stuck in that binge restrict loop right now, you're not broken. You're just stuck on a system built on shame and unreal expectations. Start fueling, start listening, start being kinder to yourself. That change didn't just stop the binging. It gave me my life back. But fixing the binging, that was only the first step. In the next video, I'll break down 10 underrated habits that help me stay lean without tracking every calorie and cutting out carbohydrates. Some of them are going to surprise you. Check it out.